Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial. So first things off, I just want to say thank you very much for all the support. Even though I'm like a very small YouTuber with like 22 subs, you guys commented that you liked the tutorials. And yeah, so I'm here making more. So this tutorial series is going to be making a password vault. So basically it's like an app where you can store your passwords and not forget them. So you can have like very hard passwords on like Gmail and whatever, and you don't have to remember like all the symbols and the numbers and the letters. So yeah, so first thing, I'm just gonna show you what we're gonna make this episode. So here, let me delete this. So the first time you open the app, it's gonna pop up with this, and it's gonna tell you to choose a master password. And yeah, so let's just do test and test, save it, and then it shows us our password vault. Today we won't be doing the password vault yet, we'll do that next episode. But yeah, and even if I quit the app, when I relaunch it, instead of bringing me to the page to make a password, it tells me to enter the password that I entered last time. So now I enter test, and there you go, it works. So basically, the first time you open the app, you create the password, and then all the other times, you just enter the password and you get access to the password vault. And all the passwords in the database, so we're going to be using databases, it's called SQLite. All the passwords in the databases are hashed. So even if someone were to get access to the database, right, which they can, it's pretty easy, the password will be encrypted and basically really hard to decrypt. So yeah, let's get straight into the coding and see you guys. Hey guys, so welcome to the coding part video. So let's get started. First thing, you're gonna want to import SQLite 3 and hashlib. So that's for the database is SQLite 3 and hashlib is to hash the passwords. And then from takeinter, import, and then star. So this is to make the windows, like the pop-ups, the actual app. Okay, well, first thing you want to do, which we do every time, window is equal to tk and then parentheses. And we can put a title real quick. So window.title is gonna be password vault. Password vault. And then at the end of your code, you want to put window.main loop. Okay, so we have our main thing, and then we can launch this, and there we go. So we have password vault, blah blah blah. Okay, so first thing we want to do, let's do a function. So def login screen. So let's do, oh wait, sorry, login screen. Okay, so then in here we want to put geometry, so window.geometry, and then let's do 350, sorry, 350 by 150. And okay, next thing we want to do is add a label. So label is equal to label window, and text is equal to enter master password. Okay, there we go. And label dot, oh yeah, by the way, instead of doing label dot grid and placing it with like paddings and everything, I found a new thing which we can do label.config, and then anchor is equal to center, sorry, without the quotation marks. But yeah, so label.config, anchor is equal to center, and then instead of doing label.grid, label.pack. Sorry, I forgot to call the function. So all the way down here, let's call login screen, and then press that, and there we go. So enter master password, it's in the middle, we don't have to write any paddings or anything. Okay, next thing we want to add is probably a text entry. So text is equal to entry window, and then we're gonna put width is equal to 10. Let's try 10. And then this time you don't actually have to do label.config. You can just do label.pack and it's automatically gonna be in the middle. So we only have to do it once. And actually what we're gonna do is make this a little bigger. Let's try 20. Okay, yeah, 20 looks good. Now, one thing we can do, we can make this smaller because it's kind of big for what we really need. So just make it like 250 by 100. Okay, yeah, we can keep this for now. Okay, enter master password and then this, and then last thing we need is a button. So button is equal to button and then window, and text is equal to submit, and then you do button.pack, and there we go. Right, and then we have the button and the master password and everything. And look right here, right, it's stuck to the text entry. So if you still want to have some padding on the y-axis, you can do pad y equals, and then let's do 5. So you can still use pad y and pad x, which is great. So there you go. Now we have a little bit of spacing. Let me add actually a tiny bit more, and yeah, we should be good. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now what we want to do, so this is like the function part. We want to do command is equal to check password. Okay, and then you're gonna copy this and make sure you make this above the button, because if it's below, it won't work because it will call it like before it's made. So basically we make a function with the exact same name, exact same capitalization, everything. So when they click the button, it's gonna like check this. So we can just make sure it works, print test. And then we go here, go, and then submit, and there we go. It says test. Also, just real quick on the text, you can do text.focus just for it to focus on the text. So when we launch it, the thing's already on the text. Okay, now let's make the actual check password command. So what we're gonna do is if, so we're gonna create a password variable. For now, we're just gonna make the password test. Then we're gonna do if password is equal to text.get. So if they're equal, and make sure you put 2 equal signs or then it doesn't work. If they're equal, then we want to print right password, and if it's wrong, so we do else, and then for now just write pass in this is just like a placeholder. And what we want to do is below this label, you can copy this, you can remove this, and then what you want to do is put this text to 0, so like nothing, like empty the text. Actually, you can even remove the text, just remove the text and name this label 1, and then take label 1, and in the else statement do label1.config, and then text is equal to wrong password. Actually, you know what? Let's put this under the text entry just because it's gonna look better. So yeah, so basically it's gonna tell you the text is equal. So let's just test it. So if I put the wrong password, so let's just put some gibberish, it's gonna say wrong password. And if I put the right password in console, it's gonna say right password. So everything works good for now. Now also one thing we can do is on the text, instead of it showing the password directly, we can do show is equal to, and then quotation mark start. So then when you type, it's hidden. So yeah, that's pretty good. For the purposes of the tutorial, I'll take it off, but you should probably do it. So just put comma show is equal to star. Okay, and the next thing we want to do, we want to make a new function. So let's do def, and this is gonna be just the vault. So password vault. So if you put the right password, it's gonna bring you to this page. So first thing you want to do in the password vault is actually to type for widget in window dot w info underscore children and then parentheses and 2 dots widget dot destroy and parentheses. So what this is gonna do is when we switch from the login screen to the password vault, it's gonna destroy all the text and everything, because if we don't do this, I'll show you later, it's gonna keep all the text, like it's gonna stack on top of each other, so that's not what we want. So, and then next thing we're gonna do is we can make this screen. So we can copy the window.geometry, make it probably a little bigger, so let's do 700 because this is going to contain all the passwords. 700, and then we can do like 350, so it's nice and equal. And then let's just make a label real quick. We don't have to make this complicated yet, because for this lecture, like for this tutorial, we won't actually be making this window. Like we won't be adding the passwords either way. Text password vault, and then we can just copy this label.config anchor is equal to center and label.pack. Okay, and then in here where we did print right password, instead you want to run password vault. So now what should happen is, let me make sure, yeah, I got everything right. You press on the run and then you enter the password. So our password is test. So let's put a random password, doesn't work. And then if we put test, there we go, access to the password vault. So yeah, that works all good. Now one thing, just before we move on to the actual hard coding, let's do text.delete 0 and then end. So the reason I'm adding this is because now if I go here and I type the wrong password, it's gonna delete the text after I read it. It's just like a little thing, but it's convenient. Okay, so now the next thing we're gonna have to do is create a first time screen. So the first time you arrive. So first screen, let's just call it. You can call these whatever you want, by the way, but just make sure if you call these a different thing, then when you call the function, so like password vault here, if you call this, let's say password screen, you have to change this to password screen. Okay, so then in the first screen, what we want to do, well, we can just copy this, to be honest. Just copy this, right, even the geometry. Copy everything here, so like all the labels and everything, so we don't have to keep rewriting. We can do like this, we can keep to 250. And then what we want to do is enter, create master password. So this is going to be the screen where you create the master password, and then a text entry, and then a label which is actually going to say something. So the text is equal to re-enter password, and then another text entry. So you put this and you name this text1 just in case we need to call it. And then the last thing we need is a button, so you can just copy this. And there we go. So button, command, save password, and text, save. Okay, actually, you know what? Yeah, okay. Let's make this command now, or we can't actually run the code yet, even though I would like to show you that it's working, but either way, just to make the function, def save password, and then 2 dots. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now, okay, we're just gonna print test, just so I can show you what the window looks like now. So here at the bottom, where we put login screen, right, change it to first screen. Okay, then press this, and there we go. Create master password, re-enter password, and save. Okay, so now one thing we're gonna have to do is in the save password function, we're gonna have to do the first thing we do is if text.get. So if the first text, this one, is equal to text1.get, so the second text, so that means the password they entered are equal, and they don't type two different passwords, then we just move on. And else we're gonna be like, we can change the first label, so we can do label.config and then parentheses, text is equal to passwords do not match. Okay, so let's just test it out. Okay, so there we go. So let's put test, and then let's put pass. Then it says passwords do not match right here. And by the way, if you want to make this another label and not change this label, then all you have to do is just copy this right here. You can put it at the bottom, change this, take off the text, change the name, and then you just change from label.config to label2.config, and then it's gonna change it. So test 1, and then passwords do not match. And if we put test and test, then it doesn't show. So next thing we want to do is actually create the database, because basically we have everything working now, but we have placeholders like the password is equal to test, blah blah blah. So what we're gonna do with the database, I'll just explain it before we get into it. When we check the password, okay, actually first, when we create the password, we're gonna go to the database and save the password the user entered, so the text.get. And then later on, when we want to log in, we're gonna go into the database, check what the user entered, and check the database, and if they match, then it's gonna work. And yeah, so yeah, let's just start doing the database code right now. Okay guys, so for the database, let's just do this above the actual window. Let me just add a comment: initiate window. Okay, and then here let's do database code. Okay, so in here what you want to do is with SQLite3.connect, and then this is the name of the database you want. So I'm gonna name mine password_vault .db. You have to have .db at the end. You can name this whatever you want though. And then as db. So db stands for database, by the way. And then in here you want to do cursor. So cursor is the thing we're gonna use to actually control the database. Then you want to do cursor is equal to db.cursor with parentheses. So here, so now we initiated the database. Next thing you want to do is you want to do cursor.execute, .execute, then parentheses, and then what you want to do is put 6 quotation marks. So type the quotation mark button twice, and then go in the middle and press enter. So you have 3 on each side. Okay, and then this is important. In full caps, you type create. Oh, sorry, my phone was ringing. Create table if not exists. And then you want to type the name of the database that we're going to create. I mean, of the table, so where we're going to store the master passwords. Let's call it master password. And then parentheses. And then, parentheses. And then go to the next line. So wait, put another parentheses and then go to the next line. And then in here, what you want to do is put ID. So every table item in a table has to have an ID. So you put integer. So this is like what the ID is. It's a number. So a number is an integer. So we have to put this. And then you put primary space key. So primary key basically means that it's like every different entry in the table will have a different ID. So it's like the thing that is different between each entry in the table. So that's how you differentiate items basically. And then you do password, so this is going to be where we put the master password, text, and let's put it cannot be null, so not null. So you can't put no password in here. Okay, so now we created the database. So this is creating the database, and this is creating a table in the database. So we can create multiple of these, and yeah. So next thing you want to do, so basically, actually let me just explain this. Basically, if this already exists, it's not gonna make it, but if it doesn't, it is gonna make it. So it's not gonna stack on top of each other, which is what's good. Okay, so now what we want to do is on the first screen, on save password, you want to go to the where we put pass, and you want to put insert underscore password, so this is going to be a variable, is equal to, and then the 6 quotation marks again, and in the middle in full caps again you type insert into, and then not caps, the name of the table, so master password, and then parentheses, and then what we want to insert, so password, and then you can go to the next line, and then values, so the value we want to insert into password, and then put a question mark here. I'll explain why later. I'll explain right now. And then you do cursor dot execute, and then you can put parentheses, and you do insert password. Insert password. So we're executing this command, and then why we put the question mark is that now we do this, and in here we put the value of question mark. So the reason I put question mark is that later we're gonna have like a variable for the password. So just make a variable real quick, hashed password, and just put it equal to, let's just do like test1, okay? And then put this in here, because after we're gonna actually take the password and hash it. So yeah, oh wait, actually no, don't put it equal to text1, put it equal to text.get, because basically this is gonna, so basically what this does is it's gonna add to the database the password the user entered into the text when we press submit. So yeah, and then the next thing you want to do, you want to go down here, you want to go to check password, and in the password is equal to txt, you want to actually change that. So what you want to do is you want to make a new function, def get master password, and then 2 dots, and then you want to do check hashed password. So this right now, we're not gonna hash the password just yet, I'll show you how to do it later. So just put this equal to text.get, and then you want to do cursor dot execute, and then parentheses, and then this time only 1 quotation mark, careful, don't put more, select star, so this is select all from the table, so master password, so it's gonna select everything from the table, and then it's gonna check where ID is equal to 1 and password is equal to question mark. So reason we're doing ID is equal to 1 is because we're not gonna have multiple master passwords. It's just gonna be 1. So where ID is equal to 1 and password is equal to question mark, and then comma, and then square brackets, and then circle brackets, and then we put the checked hash password in here. So basically the question mark is always replaced by the variable you put after. And then you want to do return. So we return the results. So we return cursor.fetch. Okay, there we go. So basically right now, it's going to take the password the user entered while trying to log in, and it's going to check for a match. So if it has a match, so match is equal to get master password. So then if match, and then you can take off is equal to text.get. So if it has a match, then it sends you here, and if it doesn't, then yeah. So now let's run this. Oh wait, actually one thing I forgot to tell you. Here, you can delete this. It's gonna create a file, just delete it, it doesn't matter. Down here, what you wanna do is so here, take this, cursor.execute, select star from master password, take that part, copy it down here, add quotation mark and parentheses, and then what you wanna do is you do check is equal to this, and then you do if check. So if there is something in here in the master password table, then you go directly to login screen, and if there isn't, then you go to the first time screen. So basically now we don't have to switch between these anymore, it's just gonna detect it. So now, oh wait, one sec, line 8, cursor.execute, one sec, let me check, create table if not exists, master password, oh yeah, I forgot, add a comma right here, my bad. If you also got the error, which you probably did, add a comma right after key in the first line, just to separate these two. Okay guys, so next thing we want to do is actually go down here before we run, and you can delete this and change this to cursor.fetchAll. Yeah, that was a mistake on my part, sorry about that, but just yeah, change this, and then right before we go in save password, change in the if statement, right at the end you want to do password vault. So when we save the password, it actually brings us to the password vault screen. And also right below cursor.execute, do db.commit, because if we don't do this, it's not actually going to save in the database, and it's just going to never save. Okay, so now if we run this, actually wait, first let's delete the database, delete, and then if we run this, create master password, so let's do test, there we go. And then if we quit and rerun it, it's gonna say enter master password, test, and boom, we're in. So everything works, and now the last thing we're gonna have to do is create a hashing script. So you want to do def hash password, boom, there we go, that. And now what you want to do is in the parentheses, so this is gonna be the input that we get from the script that calls this function. You want to do hash is equal to hashlib, so this is the library that actually hashes passwords, dot md5 parentheses input. So this is going to take the text and turn it into an md5 hash, and then we want to take the md5 hash and turn it back into text so we can actually read it, and then return hash. So that's all we have to do in this function. So now what you want to do is you can just copy the name, go to save password, and then hashed password is equal to text.get. You want to do hash password parenthesis text.get, and also you want to do dot encode, and then parenthesis quotation mark UTF-8. This is really important because basically we're giving it a string, but the actual hashing method needs the string to be encoded. So it won't give it pure string, it's gonna give it like some weird letters that we can't read as humans, but yeah. And then you can just copy this, go down, go to check hashed password and change this. So now, let's just go here and under db.commit, let's just print, actually no, let's do it in the login. In the login, let's print match and print text, no, print check hashed password, and you want to actually put this in here. So reason I want to do this is going to show us what we enter as a hash, and this is going to show us if there's any matches. So if we go here right now, so wait, delete the database actually, delete, and then go here. So let's put a password, and then save, and then quit, and then go to the login, and let's put something random. So this is the hash of test, but since our password is not test, it found no results and it says wrong password. But then if we say password, so this is the hash of the word password. And then because the hash of the word password is equal to the hash of the database, so in the database, then it works and we get put in the password vault. So yeah. Basically this is what a hash looks like. Very complicated series of numbers, and if you have a very long and hard password, it's basically gonna take them like years to decrypt. There's a website, you can probably search it up, how long does it take to decrypt my password, and then you put your password, and there's some that would take trillions of years. Except if we had quantum computers, it will only take like a couple minutes, but we're not there yet. So one thing also I just want to do is here, let's do show is equal to star. So yeah, I told you this at the beginning of the tutorial, but I'm just gonna add it in line just because it looks better. So now when we type the password, it's stars. So yeah, next episode what we're gonna do is we're gonna add like grids with one grid saying the website, one grid saying the username, and one grid saying the password. So when you log in, you're gonna have maybe a plus sign or something. It's gonna pop up with like username, password, website, and you enter all of those, and then every time you come back, there's gonna be all your websites and username and passwords for those websites. So basically, you forget your Facebook password, you come here, you see your password. You forget your Steam username, you come here, you see your username. So yeah, so this is pretty useful, and yeah, so we'll do this next episode. I know this was pretty long, but we're using databases and everything. But yeah, so see you guys next episode, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Just leave me some feedback or some ideas you have in the comments, and see you.